Is going on, everybody? It's the post-game bounce. I am your guy, Jared Davidson, and along with me today, joining me is, neither of us really are looking forward to talking about this. Rusty Witten, my guy. The Grizzlies, they fall 117 to 104 for the first time in 4 years against the Toronto Raptors. The last time the Raptors beat them was when they were playing in Tampa Bay during the COVID season after the bubble. Rusty, it was not pretty from the start. We'll just start right there.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of knew a game like this was coming with Ja Morant being out. We're still beat up, banged up. We're still struggling to find rotation, getting guys to play, what should be regular season minutes. And it started off cold, right? One of our worst first quarters that we've had in a long time. Shout out, I'm pulling up the tweet now, but shout out to our guy, Statty Sean on X. Follow Sean Coleman. He is the man for obscure stats that will hurt your feelings. And the Grizzlies scored 25 or less points in multiple quarters in the same game 9 times over 82 games last year. This is the 5th such game that they've had multiple quarters with 25 or less points this season. Now in their 7th game of the year. Jared, we did not hit 25 points until the 4th quarter.
No, we didn't. I'm really glad he brought that up too, because I had it pulled up on my phone ready to bring it up. It's a glaring stat, and they did it 3 quarters tonight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it was brutal. We put up a fight considering we didn't have Ja Morant, considering we didn't have Zach Edey. I don't really know what we're still doing with Jock Landale. I mean, the guy can't rebound. He had a decent night from the 14 points, 75% from the floor, 2 for 2 from 3, but he doesn't rebound. He doesn't defend the rim at all. And just for the haters out there, Jared did get 9 rebounds to lead the Memphis Grizzlies with 9 rebounds, Jared. But just all in all, 31% from 3, 44% from the field. It was a rough night for the Grizzlies.
Yeah, very rough night from the field. Jaren also, too, this is his first time scoring 20 this year, too. I was kind of shocked when Brevin said it in the 4th quarter. Yeah. I guess I hadn't thought about it like that. But, yeah, Jaren, 20 points for the first time this year.
Well, Mike Wallace said a couple games, I believe it was before, game before, not the Laker game, but the one before that, he said that Jaren had not gone 5 games without scoring 20 points or more in the last, 2 or 3 seasons. Yeah. And this season, he started the first 5 games without a 20-pointer. So I'm glad he got his first 20-point game of the season in Game 7.
Yeah, and so obviously without Ja tonight, you had to figure out who was going to ball handle. And they started with Cam Spencer. I was like, okay, not mad at it. My big problem, apart from effort and intensity tonight until 4th quarter when we were trying to get back into the game, was the lack of adjustments, not just rotation-wise, but player-wise. Cam Spencer was getting guarded 94 feet and in the entire way, and our offense was not getting initiated until 10 to 15 seconds. We had our head athletic trainer shout out so many times, and Brevin called it out when it got to 5 on the shot clock. She was calling it out the entire game. It felt like every single we had at least 4 in the 3rd quarter shot clock violations alone, and there was no adjustments. And Vince did a great job, in my opinion, handling the ball tonight. And the adjustments or lack thereof was my biggest issue with Tuamas Islo tonight, and the way the Grizzlies played, especially without your star point guard.
Listen, we're still in an early tenure of a young head coach, right? I'm not ready to throw the baby out with the bathwater yet.
No.
You'd be foolish to start doing that. We're still early in this tenure. I do need to see some things better. I do have some beef with how he's kind of managing our rotations and our minutes. Though Jaren did play 32 tonight, right? If Ja and Tuomas truly butted heads over rotations and minutes, I get it. I can understand that beef. But tonight, Jaren played 32 minutes. You had 29 from Said, 28.
And I think he gets more than 32 without 5 fouls.
Agreed. And he did lock in and play a bit better when he got that 5th foul. He was able to kind of tighten up. And maybe that's what it is. Maybe he just got to get a few fouls out of the way before he can actually go out there and play his style of game. But one of the guys I do want to talk about in a very a very positive way. We've talked to negatives. There's more negative to come.
There's a lot more negatives, but
Omax came in and provided a jolt of energy. If you're an OG Grizz fan from back in the day, I am much higher on JaMychal Green than most people were back in the day. But
I love
J-Mike was like the energy guy off the bench. He could come in and can just give you a spark, and that's exactly what Omax and his athleticism are, Jared. He came in, 6 points, 2 boards, 1 steal, but immediately impacted the floor, immediately impacted the up and down of the game. In a game where Toronto tried to run us out of the gym, Omax felt like he was athletic enough to hang with him. And I wish he gets some more minutes. I'd like to see that a bit more.
Yep.
Omax looked tough tonight.
He looked really tough. And also, too, what I love about it, Omax, he wasn't just standing in the corner and on an offense that looked stagnant at times. Every time you saw Omax running, even if he wasn't getting the ball, he was cutting baseline or cutting back out to the corner, running basic, just hustle basketball because I think he wants to get more minutes, obviously. And tonight he may have earned that right, especially too with a defense like Detroit who plays a lot physical, a lot of physical words. Sorry, I've had a few libations in that fourth quarter. In that fourth quarter, in that fourth quarter where the defense physicality somehow got even more by Toronto. You're going to see that a lot more from Detroit. But Omax, like you said, one of only 2 players tonight with a positive plus minus, him and Jalen Wells. Jalen Wells still did not shoot that well tonight. He was 3 of 11, made a big 3. I like that he dialed back his 3-point attempts. But like I said, he was a +4, and Omax was the only one who joined him in the plus category at +6.
Yeah. The defense was there for Jalen Wells once again. So we had an interesting starting lineup tonight. What did you think about starting Cam Spencer over Javon Small?
I think it was simply because how much of the short minute instinct that Cam Spencer had in his short run. Every time he's been in the game this year, it has not been for a prolonged period of time. And we saw since Vince has been back, we didn't see Javon play at all against Los Angeles. And so I don't mind it. But I think when we saw that he was going to be guarded and basically a cone on both ends on offense and defense, he did hit one big 3. But I think once we saw that he was not going to be able to, get past his primary defender, we should have changed it up, gone to Vince. We went to small for a little bit, but I still think you should have changed up who was going to be your primary ball handler, excuse me.
Yeah, absolutely. So I agree. Like Cam Spencer brings down the athleticism a little bit. He's super high IQ. He can be a good shooter, but Toronto is a really, really athletic team.
Yeah,
and they get up and down the floor. They can dribble the ball really well. Like they're guys that can get up and down the floor. And we needed athleticism tonight. And I think that's where we truly missed Ja, SPJ, and then wish we could have gotten more of Javon Small.
Man, I love it. You segued into my next point pretty much perfectly right there with the athleticism. Vince, Wells, Coward, Omax, Jaren, when they were all in, Vince 6'5" athletic, Wells 6'8" athletic, Jaren 6'6" athletic, Omax 6'8" athletic, Jaren 6'11" athletic in the game. The Raptors couldn't get a stop at that with those 5 in. And they had to call a timeout to regain their composure. And shout out to Coach Vaughn on Twitter who pointed out that lineup because I didn't realize how exactly big that lineup was at that point. But I loved that lineup. Like you play your athletes and the guys who are going to get stops and who are going to cut to the rim.
Yeah, exactly. And big shout out to Vince. You mentioned him a couple times now.
Yep.
Vince had a night, man. He had 14 points in 21 minutes, 71% from the field, 5 of 7 from the field, 2 of 4 from 3. He had 3 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals, kind of getting some of the rust knocked off of him. I think this might be the first time in 2 years he's truly been healthy, and so it's nice to see that. But Vince had quite the night tonight for the Grizzlies. It's nice to see his shot falling. He
did, and I think after last year especially, he's playing with more of a chip. You saw that in his first huge minutes with the Lakers game. He's being physical on defense. Yes, he's going to make a few boneheaded defensive fouls, but with a guy who plays as aggressive as Vince, you're going to get that. And on offense, as you mentioned, 5 of 7 shooting tonight. His 2 misses were 3s. He was 2 for 4. The shot fell a little bit better than in the Lakers game for Vince Williams Jr. But here's the difference. I didn't want to get on a hating Jaren tangent, but here's the difference between Vince and Jaren's fouls. Vince's are being handsy, active on defense fouls. Jaren's are 3 offensive fouls, not of his 5 fouls. I do want to talk about it because, like you said, it seemed like he did lock in for Jaren playing better with the 5 fouls. But Jaren, stop moving your shoulders and your feet on a freaking screen, man.
He's still trying to set screens with his hands. He's still trying to lean a little bit. You can tell Listen, I'm not absconding Jaren at all. I'm not ready to trade him. If you're ready to trade Jaren and want to put him on another team, you're goofy. I'll say that.
Yeah. I will
Jaren's
say,
never, you can tell he's never played in an offense where he's had to set screens. He never learned how to set screens growing up. He is a product of AAU basketball. Uncle Buck and I talked about this on our show, the 2 Buck Sports Show, Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Central on Blessed Media's YouTube channel. That, like, he came up in the AAU like leagues and world where he was constantly moving to teams where, like, he moved high schools, he moved teams where he could always be the star, always be the dude who could just be the most athletic and best player on the floor. And it shows that he never learned fundamentals. And that's my frustration with him. I love Jaren Jackson Jr. I stand for him more than anybody else on this network. And I still think he's one of the best players in the league. He's just not really taken that progression and learned some of the fundamentals of basketball. And it's biting him really hard here in year 8, where we're not setting screens appropriately. We're still getting goofy, out of control fouls. We've got to learn to be 6'11". I blame his dad. His dad, it was a 6'4" guard, and he taught him how to play.
Like, you wonder where the other 7 inches came from. Pause.
Yeah, I know, right? Pause. There's a joke in there somewhere, but I'm gonna leave it alone. But like it just he continues to not play within his frame. And if Jaren could ever figure out that he's 7 foot tall, he'll be one of the most dominant players in the league for sure.
Hey, yeah, he really can. Also, too, I want to go to it because I kind of talked with Chris Ingram about this earlier tonight too. We settled way too much for threes, and Toronto knows we are a bad shooting, 3-point shooting team. And so, guess what? Every time we drove the lane, it felt like 4, maybe even all 5 defenders were crashing the paint, standing on that offensive line, and then forcing a kick out to where we can't make an open shot.
Well, if you look at the box score, like if you look at the box score here, the Grizzlies starting guards and small forward went 7 for 31 from the field.
Yep.
I'm not a math guy, so help me out in the chat. I'm not a math guy, but 7 for 31 is not great.
No, it's not.
Figure out, like, you're not going to win a whole lot of games like that, right? Jaren did what he could down low. He didn't have a great game either. Nobody had a great game, but
nobody had a great game.
One person is wild, and to try and like. Swumas is still figuring out rotations and how to run players. 32 minutes for Jaren is better. I'm gonna need that kind of to tick up because I'm just kind of
that's in my opinion. That, like I said earlier, that's a part of Jaren's own fault with the 5 fouls.
For sure. But I'm getting tired of, you look at the stat sheets and their guys play 36, 32, 33, 32 minutes. And our best players are like 28, 29, 30 minutes, right? Like, there's still too much time where their best players are playing against our rotation guys, right? Like, Flossie Fufu, you would think that 9 rebounds for Jaren is a high. No, he's had some double doubles in his past. People make you believe that he doesn't rebound at all, but he still does go get some rebounds. But that's great for a non-rebounding big, more of a perimeter big, more than a true Zach Edey. But did you see the video circulating around on X? Zach Edey getting in some work before the game. Did you see it?
I did. I saw it circling. I said it on, I think I said it on the Daily Grind last week. We're closer than I think a lot of people realize to getting our big star, our big down low guy back. Jaren's career high in rebounds. Jaren's career high in rebounds is 15 in 2022 against the Hawks.
Yes. And so Edey getting this work in. I've been telling you all along. Again, follow me on X, buckets_BCM. I'm a doctor of physical therapy. I look at sports injuries all the time. I've been telling y'all Thanksgiving, and Thanksgiving still feels about right. We're still, 3 weeks away from Thanksgiving. That still truly feels like kind of an appropriate timeline, maybe a smidge sooner, but I think we're still looking at late November before we get him back, especially coming back from a surgery like he had where they tighten up the ligaments in his ankle. They want to make sure that thing is rock solid so we don't undo what we just did in that surgery. But it was nice to see him getting some actual like bump work, some like, roll to the basket, roll to the hoop, that kind of thing. Like it looked good, at least in one-on-one type drills. We're still a long way away from 5-on-5 in real basketball, but we're getting there.
We're getting there. Progress is progress. But yeah, so it's good to see him getting work in. And like I said, we need him down. We need him rebounding. Toronto, we played 2 of the 3 worst rebounding teams in the league outside of ourselves the past 2 games. And tonight we got out-rebounded 55-46. We got out-rebounded by 9. We allowed 55 total rebounds.
That's brutal. That's brutal.
Yeah. But I mean, I will say, like, yes, we've harped on Jaren in the 5 fouls tonight, and he needs to be better. Obviously, needs to get more minutes, which I do want to go a little bit more in depth on what we could see tomorrow against Detroit when we're back home in Memphis. Jaren, in my opinion, this year has been a lot better defensively down low. He's trying to be more physical down low. Now, granted, we're still trying to wait to see the big results.
Hang on, Jaren's been better. If you read the comments in X, you would think he's the worst basketball
You
player
would
in the
think
world.
he's the worst basketball. Like, now, here's the thing: he still has a lot of stuff to get over.
Two things can be true.
Two things can be true at once, Rusty. But I've noticed an increase in intent to be physical down low, fight for boards, and just be physical not only in the paint but in the key in the restricted area down low for Jaren this season.
It has been better. Now he's still getting raked by Mark Williams. Yeah. That sucks. He's still getting bodied by some real quick sidebar. Colin Murray Bowles was the guy I was high on coming out of the draft, and he looked the part tonight. He's physical. He's brawny. He's an athletic big. 31 minutes, 15 points. Yeah, 9 boards tonight. 3 steals. He looked great as a rookie, and he had Jaren out of place in some areas. But to sit here and say that Jaren has made no progress over the last couple of years, exactly right, Ninja DJ. To say he's made no progress is wild. And we see the steps, the progressions. Yes, I agree. For what we paid him this offseason, I need to see more. I need to see that continue. But we're still a hell of a lot better than we've been in the past and trending in a positive direction from a rebounding standpoint and from an effort standpoint from Jaren.
Yeah, 100%. And that's the part I have. It's this gotta find a way to not look like a baby draft and get these weird offensive fouls. Now, I will say one on the defensive end tonight, the offensive end tonight where he drove into the paint was a little bogus. But when you have that reputation and you have that perception, those are going to be watched so intently by officiating crews.
Yes. Jaren has got the Draymond Green treatment, right? They know he's going to flail and flop and foul, so they're going to call the fouls because he doesn't control his body in space ever. And so we need to see him toughen up and play with more control. That's the biggest thing with Jaren is he just gets – it's like he'll go down there and he'll have a couple possessions where his technique and footwork and that left-handed floater is just – it's a thing of beauty. And then it's he just gets really lazy for a couple of possessions and just kind of leans and kind of he loses body control almost.
He loses his center of balance.
Exactly. And getting off balance like that, getting out of control is what's leading to a lot of these goofy offensive fouls.
Yeah. And let's see here. Who was it? Flossie Fufu pulled it up. I heard Fish say something along these lines. I wasn't sure of the exact stat. Yeah. This is just to attribute how bad our defense has been this year.
I'm like Michael Scott. Don't like that because Tomas told us that we're going to defend at a high level. We're going to defend really, really well. We're going to be aggressive on the defensive side. And Jared, I just hadn't seen it. But, I see a lot of open looks still on the perimeter. I see a lot of guys getting clean runs to the basket off of pick and rolls and off of pick and pops. Guys are getting clean looks. And I just don't love what I'm seeing. Toronto shot 30% from 3 tonight. Simply because they missed open threes.
Yep.
They took 37 threes, made 11 of them, and they missed a lot of really good open looks. You play a team like Golden State, you play a team like, some of these teams that can really, really shoot. Charlotte, they're going to bury us. And that's wild.
Houston on Wednesday.
Houston on Wednesday. You're going to be there. Oklahoma City on Sunday, bury you in a heartbeat.
Yep.
If they can actually shoot. We got lucky that this game was a 13-point game.
We were fortunate. Sure. We were down 6 majority of the game and not down by 26 for the entire game. We got very fortunate in that regard. I want to go back to it. I want to see more of Omax. Now, I will say that I like the lineup I said earlier. Vince, Omax, said Jaren, and Wells. I think that's 5 players. I love that athletic lineup. You take one of those guys out when Ja gets back tomorrow. Rusty, I'm loving the athleticism of that lineup. I like leaving Omax in. You can intertwine Ja. You just give him a ball handler. You can put Ja in for Vince, and then you can rotate Vince in for Omax in that aspect. You give me a form of that lineup tomorrow with hopefully a pissed off Ja Morant who wants to come out and play, and we get a 30 bomb and a huge home win to kick off this 5-game homestand. That's going to put a lot of this tension at ease that came out of this weekend.
And Ja typically in games where he comes back from suspensions and comes back
Injuries
has a monster game.
Yep.
Yeah, right. Like when he came back for in the Pelicans game last year for that little brief time, he had 36 points his first night back, right? I look for Ja to be huge tomorrow night. Yeah. Like what I'm ready for, I like the addition of Omax, but I'm tired of running out these unathletic lineups. Wayno, I know you just left to go back to work. I'm going to put you're going to watch this back later. I'm sorry, brother. But what I would love to see tomorrow night is a lineup of Ja, Cedric, Jalen, KCP, and Jared. Let's run out. That's an uber athletic lineup that can run with Detroit. We don't have our big body need a physical with them, but that's an athletic lineup that I think gives you good defense. It gives you offense, and it gives you the ability to get up and down the floor. You got Omax, you've got Vince coming off the bench, bringing that chaos, being those agents of chaos. I love to see Vince getting healthy. But I want to see that lineup. Give that lineup a shot, right? Then you've got Santi coming off the bench. You can bring Jock Landale in if you need to. Why? I don't know you would need to at this point. But let's go. Why not? Right? Why not?
Yeah. And I want to go to this too. I think so. My big thing with Tuomas's lineups this year so far is, yes, I want to see it. The whole situation was a two-sided thing. We're not going to touch huge on it, obviously, because we have a whole network of shows this week that'll touch on this whole weekend. Which also, too, real quick, Daily Grind, Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m., $2 with our good man Rusty Witten and Drew Gann. 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 11 o'clock. Anthony Sane Show, 1 o'clock with him and his co-host Kenny. So check those out. There'll be a lot of Grizz content coming, but also back to the main conversation here, which kind of blanked. Oh yeah, here we go. I don't mind the mass subs at times, but it has to evolve around your two stars. Your two stars, you can have everyone else, even you can throw Set in there. You can have everyone else playing 25 to 20 minutes a game. But Jaren and Ja have to touch that 35-minute mark.
Agreed. I am sick and tired, Jared, of seeing our best players, like I said earlier, play 8, 9, 10 minutes less than the other team's best player.
Yep.
I'm not asking them to pull a Josh Hart and run 48 minutes, 46 minutes, but I need 35 to 38 minutes, right? I need 35 to 38. I'm tired of seeing our best players playing less than their best players. We get way too many minutes with the other team's best players playing John Conchar and Santi Aldama and Cam Spencer and some of these knockoff guys, right? When tomorrow night, when Cade Cunningham's on the floor, when Jaden Ivey's on the floor, when Tobias Harris, when their best players are playing, I want John Jaren out there, point blank period. I want Cedric out there in that group. I want those guys out there getting the
ball. That's what we got mad about. That's what we got mad at Taylor Jenkins for.
And that's where I am going to hold Tomas the same level of accountability, because for 2 years, I berated Taylor Jenkins for not playing our stars more than what he did. Yep. And I understand Tomas's system. Tomas's system is run, pace, intensity. I get that. That's fine. Keep the other guys fresh. I need Ja and I need Jaren playing 35 minutes. That's what we need to do, because we're just – all I've been asking for the last couple of years, Jared, is for us to be normal. Quit being goofy. And we keep doing this goofy shit. And we end up with our guys playing 28 minutes thinking, oh, we're going to rest them for the playoffs. Brother, we're not even making the playoffs. We're barely sneaking in. And so play our guys.
Yeah, which I know that I don't know if these standings are already updated, because they usually get updated after every single game. Memphis now falls to 3-4 below 500. And I know it's early. I know you're going to have a heat check tomorrow with Drew. Before the game tomorrow and after the game tonight. Memphis is right now sitting in that last play-in spot at number 10.
Yeah, exactly. So, and for those of you in the comments, we've introduced ourselves a few times, but you always try about every 15 minutes, you want to bring it back to the top. I'm Rusty Witten. This is Jared Davidson. We are Bluff City Media. Jared is on the Daily Grind every morning at 7:30 a.m. with Luke Hatmaker. I am live with my guy, Uncle Buck, who has to sit on a couple of phone books, but you can see him. On the $2 Sports Show, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. We got the Anthony Sane Show at 1 p.m. We've got a litany of other shows. We've got Tigers Untapped. We've got On the Bluff. We've got a new show coming out this fall starting this week called On the Beat with Roman Cleary and Shamaria. I just blanked on our last names.
Wiseman.
Wiseman, thank you. Shamaria. They're going to be talking about the Tigers girls and Tigers men basketball teams. We've got Tigers postgame live. Got the postgame bounce. Y'all come hang with us. We are y'all spot for Grizzlies basketball this fall. But yes, we've got to see more of the best players playing basketball. And we don't really know. Like, I'm still giving Tomas, like, I'm not ready to throw the baby out with the bathwater. He's still figuring it out. I hope from this tension with him and Ja, what's going to come out of it is more accountability for Ja to be a leader and not have such poor body language. Because last year he pouted so many times in the corner, and he started that against the Lakers. I was in the building, and I'm saving my most brutal thoughts for the 2 Buck Sports Show that's going to air tomorrow at 11 a.m. I was pissed off.
I bet.
It was brutal watching his body language just be so poor. And I thought we had left this mess in the past, and we didn't. And so I hope what comes out of this is Josh taking accountability, because T.I. called him out. But what I also hope is that Tomas hears this and says, cool, let's give these guys a shot. Let's run them 35, 36 minutes a night. I need John Jaren 35, 36. I need Sed and Jalen Wells in the 30 to 33 minute. And then I need KCP and, Omax and some of those guys in the high 20s.
Yeah, I need you play your athletes in an offense like this that Tuomas wants to run. You got to play the guys who are going to be athletic down the field, who are going to this is going to sound like the basic high school coach, getting low into your stance on the 3-point line and guarding the 3-point line, like you see every possession with Vince Williams Jr. Like, he's the guy who you can, like, if any level you point out a guy about how to play defense anywhere on the floor, you look at Vince Williams Jr. in his first 2 games this year.
And that's what, like, Maggie and I were talking about this morning. Like, I am one of the reasons we as a franchise, as a city, have endeared to guys like Zach and Tony and Mike and Mark from those past days is they played basketball like their life depended on it.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know it's basketball. It's not war. It's not anything crazy. But, like, their livelihood and their life depended on winning basketball games. And we just don't have that on this team yet. People, you want to call them soft. You want to question their effort. But, that's fair. But this team does not play like the game of basketball matters. You watch those old grit and grind teams, Jared, because I had some season tickets back then. And I went to a ton of grit and grind games back right out of grad school when I was living in Memphis. And it was just different. Like, you knew, like, everybody circled that Memphis game because they were going to beat the hell out of you for 48 minutes. Now people circle that Memphis game because it's like, well, Ja might be pouting that night. Ja might not have his best stuff. Jaren might be kind of aloof and get you 5 fouls before halftime. And it's not the same effort level. That's all we're asking as a fan base. Wayno said it earlier. We'll defend Ja against everything, but we will not tolerate a lack of effort because we are grit and grind. That's who we are. It's grit, all heart, grit, grind. We don't have that heart. We don't have those dudes that are like the heart of this basketball team.
And I do want to bring up what Art said here. I understand where the basis of this argument is coming out of saying they can't handle 30 to 35 minutes because they get injured. Jaren, I understand he's had a few ankle rolls and obviously the turf toe injury he's coming off of. Ja, we talked about it time and time again, how it's been freak injury last year, especially. But here's the thing. When you get to the playoffs and you have to play 35 minutes in a game, what are you going to do? You don't ramp up. We saw it last year or 2 years ago, whenever it was, when, this is a big point. You play your guys 25 minutes, then start ramping them up, and they're not ready to play those 35, possibly 40 minutes in a playoff game to where they are gassed. You have to play them. That's why you see, like you mentioned earlier, all these top guys, all these top teams play their top guys 35 plus 36 minutes a night. And guess what? They get conditioned to it.
Thank you. And they win basketball games. They are like, I'm tired of being front runner and trying to be a 2 seed in the West. Like, I'll take a 4, 5, 6 seed in the West if it means our guys are playing a ton and playing hard. We've got, we can't go into the playoffs with unconditioned legs. You just said it perfectly. No. You have to have mileage on those legs. You have to be able to withstand 36, 38 minutes in a playoff game when you're playing against other dudes that are going to be playing 36, 38 minutes. Like, that's just how it is. And yes, it's November, but as we saw last year, losses in October and November against teams that you should beat. And Toronto's a good team, but they're not ungettable. But you lose
a playoff
these
team
games.
In the East, but the East this year is
right. But you lose these games, and in a Western Conference that's going to be really compacted and it's going to be really really tightly contested down to the wire. These kind of losses come back and bite you in the butt.
Yep. And what Jalen said here, I mean, like I said, I understand where this is coming from.
Fine.
But he has to try to play 30 something minutes a night. He played 32 tonight and got and had 5 fouls.
So
that's
you
Jared.
have to there has to be some account. We're holding Ja accountable. Jalen, we've got to hold Jaren accountable as well. If he fouls out, I hope what'll happen is that'll click in his brain that this team needs me. I can't be out here flailing and flopping and running all over the place and fouling out because I'm costing my team basketball games.
Yeah.
I like that T.I. has allowed him to play with 4 and 5 fouls, unlike Taylor Jenkins, who never really did.
Unlike the coach who fouled out his players before they fouled out.
Allow him to foul himself out. Don't foul out your players. He talked about that after the first game. But I'm hoping that these reps with 4 and 5 fouls that Jaren is getting is going to open his goofy eyeballs and say, yo, this team needs me. Like, I can't be sitting over here on the sideline with 6 fouls in a tightly contested game. Like, we're going to need those dudes.
Yeah, we're going to need them a lot. And I'm trying to figure out when Jaren came in and then did not come back out in tonight's ball game. I'm looking up and down the play chart, which, I mean, shoot, he came back in before the 7-minute mark. Okay, yeah, He subbed in at 8:20. He subbed in at 8:20.
The last 8 minutes.
Yeah, he subbed in with 8:20 and played the last 8.5 minutes almost with 5 fouls and did not commit a foul. Now, granted, there was a couple drive-bys where he had to let them go or else he does commit the 6th foul, as you know the broadcast mentioned tonight.
Sure.
But he played good with 5 fouls. Give me Jaren doing that every single freaking night. Rusty, I almost texted you after the first quarter. I almost texted you after the first quarter because I think Jaren played 9 in the first quarter. We were on pace for Jaren to play 36 minutes tonight.
But it was great.
But he got in foul trouble in the second and third. Jalen, if you could go find it on FanDuel, buddy.
FanDuel.com is where you can.
Yeah. Like he was on pace to play 36 before, guess what? He got himself in these goofy offensive fouls into foul trouble. But those last 8:20 was good Jaren minutes because he was playing smart. If he can play every game like he has 5 fouls already, I need the coaching staff to tell him that, Jaren, guess what? You have 5 fouls. You're going to foul out if you commit one.
King Meeks brings up the point about him learning from KG when he was teaching him and Jaren playing for Teams USA and that kind of stuff. I've just got a theory, and I don't know that I probably could sit down and prove this, but like you look at guys like Jaren who kind of came up as an NBA son, playing in these high level, high dollar AAU leagues and transferring all these high schools to be the man versus a guy like Cedric Coward or Jalen Wells who had to fight and scrap and claw for every single minute. And
I'll even go the distance and say John Morant because he played at Murray State.
And so those guys fight and claw for those minutes and learn how to be on the court, and learn how to stay on the court and not foul out, but play with a heart and a passion that you don't get by having things handed to you. Like, that's why I appreciate Cedric Coward and Jalen so much. And I'll fight for Jalen to continue to get minutes because of his deep and his effort. The shot is too pure. It's going to start falling again. And it's going to start falling in mass before too much longer. But dudes with heart like Cedric and Jalen, if you could take their heart, Vince's heart, because he plays super hard when he's in there. It may not be the best, but if you take Vince's heart and you put it in a guy like Jaren, and you've got an all-world perennial first-team All-NBA player. And so I just need to see some dudes with some heart, man. And that's what we're missing on this team. It's getting better. And I think Tumas can be the guy that brings it out of it. But we need guys to play with heart.
Yeah, that's the big thing too. And that's going to be the last part I do say on Jaren tonight. I mean, I do like that he finally got the 20 points. I think we're seeing a slight improvement from game to game. Obviously the conversation was had, did he come back too early with the toe surgery and whatnot? I'm liking that we're seeing him get progressively a little bit better each day. Rusty, it's a Sunday night. We're 34 minutes here in. Before we get out of here, first night of a back-to-back. Have Detroit tomorrow, and they are coming off of a big game in Mexico City where they won 122-110 over Dallas in that ball game. Let's see here. Jalen Duren, 33 points. That's going to be the big matchup to watch and see how Tuomas Islo dials that matchup up with Jaren and Jock.
Yeah, tomorrow night is going to be a tough one.
Yep.
Detroit is a physical team. They play tough, hard-nosed basketball. I had Cade Cunningham as my MVP candidate and JB Bickerstaff as the coach of the year because what they can do there. They're tough. They're physical. They're everything I want the Memphis Grizzlies to be. We're going to have our hands full tomorrow night. They have a Thompson twin, Azor Thompson, who he defends when you start getting off the bus, just like his brother. High-level defender. Cade Cunningham is elite. We're going to need Ja's best game tomorrow. Cedric Howard's going to have yet another welcome to the NBA moment where he's looking across at Cade Cunningham like he was booked last week and getting some reps. But it's going to be interesting to see without Zach Edey, like, can Jaren be up to the task for Jalen Duren? He has done it in the past, and I think he can, but that is a tall task to face Jalen Duren tomorrow night. And
Rusty, going back to how we want our minutes distributed in that ball game, Azor Thompson, 28 minutes. Tobias Harris, 35. Duren, 29. Robinson, 34. I forgot Duncan Robinson was over there. 37 for Cade Cunningham. And Cade,
I didn't even recognize. I saw Duncan Robinson in the preseason game, and I was like, "Who? This guy looks familiar. Who is this guy?" And then I had to look up. I was like, "I forgot Duncan Robinson was a Piston."
Yep. And then, like I said, Cade Cunningham, 21 points in that game, 18 assists, and 3 steals.
Kid's special, man. Special. But you know what? Like tomorrow night, Ja can come out and undo the vast majority of whatever bad blood, ill will, whatever there is around him for his antics after the Lakers game. If he goes out and he has a big Demon Ja night, 30-point game, 10 assists, plays 34 minutes, won't let Tomas take him out of the game, and then get that two-man game going with Jaren tomorrow night. It's a winnable game. It is, but that's a tough physical team.
It is a tough physical team. Ja did post on his Instagram before the game saying, "Hey, let's go Grizz," with a sign. That's all he said.
He's a Grizz for life, man.
He's a Grizz for life. No, he ain't going nowhere. If y'all want to hear more on those convos, once again, my name's Jared Davidson. This is Rusty Witten. And guess what? We have a whole new set of shows tomorrow starting Monday, November 3rd. I hope you all got your extra sleep tonight. Rusty, he'll be live tomorrow with Drew Gann at 11 a.m. Luke Hatmaker, and I believe you're on tomorrow morning.
Live at 7:30 in the morning and 11. I can see my big ugly goofy mug twice tomorrow.
So Rusty live tomorrow morning at 7:30 with Luke Hatmaker in the Daily Grind. You get me and Luke Hatmaker Wednesday through Friday, and whenever Rusty can't make it on a Monday or a Tuesday. And Anthony Sane at 1 a.m. with Kenny Stubblefield. So guess what? The Grizz have another shot tomorrow. We may get pissed off Ja. We hope we do. Rusty, any final thoughts before we get back to our Sunday evenings? Because I still have to go to the grocery store to get groceries for the week.
Oh, man. I'm going to go out here and watch a movie with my pops. We were watching Assault on Precinct 13. If you know, you know. That's a goated movie with Ethan Hawke, Lawrence Fishburne. Great movie. Going to go watch one with him after this. But no, man, remember, we're 7 games in. There's 82. Yep. We're still working out the kinks of a new coach, a new system. We don't have Zach Edey, our best rebounder and rim protector. It's coming, guys. We're closer than we ever have been before. You take the losses, you learn from them. Tonight we learned we need Jaren to be tougher. We need Vince to keep playing like this, and we need Ja Morant back.
We need Ja Morant back. We need all those things. We need Jaren to play like he has 5 fouls every single game. Tomorrow night, it's Drew leading the show. Uncle Buck and whoever he has coming on with him. The Grizzlies tip off tomorrow night at 7 p.m. at home versus Detroit. So guess what? We'll be right back here probably around 3 hours after the game again. We're almost at the 40-minute mark. Thank you all for tuning in. Comments always popping as usual. One more time before we sign off. Daily Grind Monday through Friday at 7:30. Uncle Buck and Rusty Witten, Dr. Buckets at the 2 Buck Sports Show at 11 a.m. And then Anthony Sane at 1 p.m. as well. All here on Bluff City Media on YouTube, Twitter, wherever you want to find it. So, Rusty, let's go get back in the win column and get back to 500 tomorrow, my friend.
Yeah, I appreciate you. Nice job tonight, buddy. Great job leading the show, man. Appreciate you and your insight on the Grizzlies. Appreciate everybody in the comments. If you're here at this point, like, subscribe, turn those notifications on. It doesn't cost you a thing. Helps us more than you know. We'll see y'all here tomorrow.
See y'all here tomorrow. Be sure to tune in all day tomorrow. Go Grizz, as always. Thank you.